Our next speaker is Lina Gokhale. She entered Columbus Academy in kindergarten. She has a brother who's a twin in her same grade, Jay, a brother Arjun, who's in 8th grade, a brother Dylan, who's in 5th grade, and she lives in Lancaster.
You know you guys don't look alike, right? Whenever somebody realizes that I have a twin brother, Jay, and they get the chance to see him, this is often their first remark. I usually reply with, I know it's crazy, but inside I'm thinking, thank you for this realization. I would have never seen it on my own. Although we may look like siblings to any regular person, the relationship that Jay and I share is complex, and it separates us from just being siblings. 10 years ago, if you were to have asked me the question, who is the most important person in your life? I would have replied, that's easy, it's Dora the Explorer. I now realize that my answer did not make sense, but at that age, reality is mixed in with a non-realistic world. I often imagine of a place where Dora is my best friend, Diego from Go Diego Go is my boyfriend, and every childhood character imaginable lived in this world as well. There is one exception, though. I would not allow this world to exist unless Jay, my twin brother, lived in it with me. Because I lived such a happy childhood, I thought that nothing could disrupt our relationship. I wish Jay and I never adopted such an unrealistic view of the world, because we are not ready for the obstacles that we have to face in early adulthood. At the beginning of our sophomore year, our family dynamic became very unstable, and relationships were perishing in front of our eyes. I had to take on issues that most adults do not have to deal with their whole life. I was forced to pick sides between family members. At this point, home felt more like a battlefield than a place of comfort. I had never experienced such an emotional event before and went into a state of depression. It was very hard to go about my daily life. I tried to mask my sadness by putting up an act, a little like what Ryan alluded to, but also so that I would not inflict pain on the people I loved. But every topic that was brought up between my family was about the discord that was erupting. I did not want to hear any more of it, nor did I want to feel any more emotional pain. So I did what any vulnerable teenager would do and isolated myself from everyone, including Jay. I knew that I could not let strife consume me, so I used school as a coping mechanism, but I let that consume me instead. I was locking myself in my room every day, devoting all my time to school. If I completed all my work that was due the following week, I would look for other assignments to finish that were not due for weeks. It was not that I was trying to impress anybody by my work ethic. I just found that school was an easy way to avoid my challenges in life. After all, it was easier to fix my grades than fix my life. Although my grades were at an all-time high, I looked and felt unhealthy. I rarely ever went outside, and therefore rarely ever saw my family. I needed someone to pull me out of this endless hole of school obsession. Now that I look back on this time of my life, the one person who was trying to get me out of my school trance was Jay. He put his passions in life aside in order to relieve me of my infatuation, but I was so distracted that I didn't even notice. Instead of accepting his help and understanding that he was feeling the same emotions that I was, I kept pushing him away. I hoped that by isolating myself, he would feel better, that there would be one less person to constantly remind him of our issues at home. Once the challenges in my life subsided a bit, and I didn't feel like I was drowning in all things related to school, I finally saw the damage I had done in our relationship. Putting up a divide between Jay and I only made him worry more. I recognized that Jay would have rather talked to me about our conflict, but I'd put my selfish needs first. I barely remembered what our bond was like before the familial conflict. I knew that in order to rebuild our relationship, I would have to lay down the foundation of our past, so I took a trip down memory lane. The people that knew us best in our youth were my parents, so I went to them first. My parents told me that Jay and I were premature babies, so we had to stay in the NICU. The nurses in our unit found that our heart ratings would be calmer whenever we were placed side by side to each other. From there on out, we were inseparable. We did everything together, including sleeping, eating, bathing, crawling, walking, and talking. Jay and I even created our own secret language together, a phenomenon called cryptophagia. This is when infant twins develop their very own language that only the two of them are able to understand. My mom has memories of us talking and laughing all day just by using the words Baba and Yaga. This allowed us to form a strong friendship. Vivid memories of us dumping water on the floor in order to create a swimming pool, or climbing out of our cribs at night so that we could play, as well as coloring on every wall in our house, came flooding back into my mind. I finally remember how strong our bond actually was. I yearned for this relationship to exist again. So I brought back elements of our childhood, like laughter, long conversation, and becoming pranksters again. Not only did Jay and I look more lively, but I could see our bond starting to form again. And my obsession with school was starting to get less intense. I can proudly say that Jay is not only my twin, but is also my best friend. So here's a message for you, Jay. Thank you for pulling me out of my dark time. Without you, I doubt our relationship would be as strong as it is today. No matter how many times I hide your phone from you, or call you just to hang up in order to annoy you, or eat all your snacks labeled J on it, I truly do love you. I know I don't say this enough to you, but I'll try saying it more often because you deserve it, especially from someone that has been through it all with you. The past may be painful to look back on sometimes, but if you look carefully, you might find memories that could solve your problems. Without the past, I would have never been able to escape my obsession with school, as well as find my lifelong best friend. So if you were to ask me the question, who is the most important person in your life right now? I would reply with, that's easy, it's Jay. Thank you.